Hey everyone, welcome back to Trending Watches. So you know how Nikon cameras are like really awesome. People who take pictures have been using them forever because they work super well and never break down. Plus, the photos look amazing. Whether you want to take pictures of beautiful mountains, super fast sports, or make cool videos, Nikon has got you covered. Today we're going to talk about the best Nikon cameras you can get right now. Oh, and by the way, you can find all these cameras in the description box below if you want to check them out. Ready? Let's jump in. Number 6. The Nikon Z6 Mark III. This camera is pretty cool because it has this special sensor inside that reads stuff way faster than the old camera, like it's about 3.5 times faster. Now it's not quite fast enough to get rid of the clicky shutter thing completely. But guess what? You can take pictures at 120 frames per second. That's crazy fast. And get this. The little screen you look through has more tiny dots than any other Nikon camera. We're talking about 5.76 million dots. The camera takes 24.5 megapixel pictures. I know that might not sound like a huge jump from the 20.9 megapixels that the smaller cameras have. But here's the thing. This camera has a much bigger sensor inside. And that bigger sensor means your pictures look way better, especially when it's dark outside. If you're one of those people who makes videos for YouTube or TikTok, or if you want to make movies, this is definitely the Nikon camera you should get. But hey, don't forget about the older Nikon Z6 Mark II either. That one's still really good. It's built super well, looks nice, and has this thing that stops your pictures from being shaky. And the best part, you can get it for a really good price now. Number 5. The Nikon ZF. Don't let the old-timey looks trick you, though. This camera is totally modern and works amazingly well. It has a 25 megapixel sensor that's full frame. That means it's big. And it uses Nikon's super smart XPE7 processor chip. This camera is really good at focusing on stuff automatically and following moving things around. Plus, it can shoot really nice 4K videos. I absolutely love this Nikon ZF because it looks like those old cameras from way back in the day. If you're into vintage stuff, you're going to fall in love with this camera the second you see it, when you pick it up and hold it. It's going to make you think about the old days when people used film instead of digital cameras. The camera feels really solid and well made. It has these heavy brass dials that feel really nice to turn, and the whole camera has some weight to it. It reminds me of this famous old camera called the Nikon FM2, which is what they used as inspiration when they made this one. Now here's one. Small problem: Nikon doesn't make their own old-style lenses for this camera's mount. So you're kinda stuck using modern-looking Nikon lenses. Or you have to use an adapter to put old Nikon lenses on it, which doesn't look quite as cool. But don't worry too much about this because lots of other companies make lenses with those old-style rings that work perfectly with this camera. Number 4. The Nikon Z8. Nikon is telling everyone that this camera is like the baby brother of their best camera, the Z9. It can do almost everything the Z9 can do. The only real differences are that it's smaller and costs about $1,000 less. Oh, and if you want, you can buy an extra grip thing that holds another battery and gives you buttons. For taking vertical pictures, this camera can record 8K videos at 60 frames per second or 8K at 30 frames per second for up to 2 whole hours. Nikon decided to get rid of the mechanical shutter completely. That's the clicky thing, which means this. Camera can take 120 pictures every single second. And get this, it can use a shutter speed as fast as 1/32,000th of a second. That makes it perfect for taking pictures of sports or birds flying around. The autofocus on this thing is like a hungry monster. It can recognize and focus on human eyes, faces, heads, and even upper bodies. Honestly, there's literally nothing this camera can't do. It gives you speed, really detailed pictures, tough build quality, and awesome video, all in one package, and it costs less than the Z9. Number 3. The Nikon D850. Now, people who love those newer mirrorless cameras always complain that DSLR cameras like this one are too big and heavy. And you know what? They're not wrong. The Nikon D850 is definitely a big, tough camera compared to those. Z cameras we talked about earlier. But here's the thing, that big size actually helps you out if you're using big heavy lenses. And let's be real, most good lenses are pretty big and heavy. This is something that people who use mirrorless cameras don't always think about. Since this is a DSLR camera, it has this bright, clear viewfinder that you look through with your actual eye instead of a tiny screen. Lots of photographers still like this better than looking at a digital screen. No matter how good that screen is, the D850 has a 45.7 megapixel sensor that takes absolutely gorgeous pictures. Even with all those megapixels, it can still take 7 pictures per second or 9 pictures per second if you get the optional battery grip. Even without that extra grip, this camera's battery lasts for 1,140 shots. That's way more than any mirrorless camera can do. Plus, it has 2 memory card slots. Number 2, the Nikon Z30. This camera is really impressive for people just starting out, and it's made especially for people who make vlogs and create content online. It has a 20.9 megapixel APS-C sensor that's smaller than full frame, but still really good. And it can record 4K videos without cropping them, which makes it perfect for both videos and regular photos. One of the coolest things about this camera is how small and light it is. It only weighs 350 grams, which is perfect if you need to carry it around a lot, but don't want to give up quality. If you make vlogs, you're gonna love the Z30 because it has this screen that flips all the way around and you can touch it. This makes it super easy to frame yourself when you're recording selfie-style videos. It also has built-in stereo microphones and a place to plug in an external microphone if you want better sound quality. But there's one thing that might bug some creators. It doesn't have a headphone jack, so you can't monitor your audio while you're recording. Even though this camera is made more for video, it's still pretty good at taking regular photos. It can take up to 11 pictures per second continuously. But it doesn't have an electronic viewfinder or in-body image stabilization, which might be a problem if you mainly want to take still photos or shoot in dark places. If you're a creator looking for something that won't break the bank, but still has solid video features, the Nikon Z30 is definitely worth checking out. Number 1, the Nikon Z50 Mark II. This camera is way smaller than Nikon's full-frame Z cameras, but you can totally tell it's part of the same family just by looking at it. Even though it's small, this second version of the Z50 has a better grip and improved external controls. It even has this special picture control button that only this camera has. The electronic viewfinder is twice as bright as the old version, which is awesome. It uses the same X-Speed 7 processor as the more expensive cameras, which means it has the same incredibly smart subject detection as the Z9 combined with the 1.5x effective focal length that comes from the APS-C sensor. This makes it especially perfect for people who want to take sports or wildlife photos, but don't want to spend a fortune. It doesn't have the in-body image stabilization that the full-frame cameras have, but many of the Z lenses made for DX cameras have built-in VR to make up for it. The best part: the Z50 Mark II is an amazing value, especially when you buy it as a kit with 2 lenses. This is a fantastic camera for both beginners and people who already know a lot about photography.